Before you start modifying and writing your own programs, it's helpful to know all the different ways that WebSmart can help you along first. There are many different options to choose from when creating an application. Starting at the new program window, I'm going to create an application based on the page at a time by key template. This is a fairly complex template, so we'll have a lot of options to parse through as we create it. The first page of any template is always the same. We're given the opportunity to provide a program name corresponding to the file name, and a title that will be visible on the pages. We can also specify the FTP site that we'll be uploading to, and we can make any changes to those FTP paths and web paths. This will be handy if we want a particular program to exist in a subfolder on the IFS. The next page here will provide us a place to choose the programmer name and check off a couple design options. For this template, we can specify how many records will be visible at a time and whether the page header will be included. We can also choose whether to include filter fields and sortable columns. I'll include both filter fields and sortable columns so you can see what it looks like. This next page allows us to set some options relating to how it handles file maintenance. We can define what record maintenance options will be available and how they'll handle key fields. I'm going to include record addition, display, change, and deletion. And I'm going to protect key fields in all cases. Now I can finally specify what file I'll be performing file maintenance on. All I need to do is specify the file name and the library. If you aren't sure exactly what file you need, you can click Browse Server here. This menu will allow you to type in a library name and view the files inside it. You can even retrieve a field list or display the data in that file. This looks like the right file, so I'll click OK to select it. You can also select a file that you've saved into the file repository. I won't get into the repository here. We'll have a whole other video on how to work with it. After clicking OK, I'm getting a message asking me to specify unique keys. It's already correctly guessed that CMCust, the customer number, is the unique key. But I could change this to another key, or add a few fields that together would make a unique key. I can edit these keys later by changing this file and selecting Edit Unique Key List. Now we can see that the file has been added to the space here. This space contains all the files that are being linked to this project. And now that I'm done adding a file, I could add more files, but I think I've got enough for now. I'm going to move forward on the wizard here. Moving on here, we get to choose what fields will be visible for the list view. We have fields available from the file that I added. I can add or remove fields individually, or I can add or remove all the fields available for each source. We can also reorder them. This will impact the order that will be presented on the page. I'm going to add a few fields from the original file. As you may have noticed, an SQL statement has been built as we progress through these menus. As we add, reorder, or remove fields, you can see the select statement is being changed. This gives an idea of the SQL that will be used to retrieve the records in the resulting code. At any point in the process, you can click View Data to run this statement and see what you get. This next page looks really similar, but instead of choosing fields to show in a list, we're deciding what fields will be shown when we are looking at a single record. I'll have a bit more space on this page, so I'll add a few more fields. This looks okay, so I'll click Next and I can choose fields that I can filter by. I think people would like to filter by city, so I'll add that. That's all the information it needs to generate my program, so I click Finish. It doesn't take long for it to finish, and now I have a complete project. All I need to do is press the Generate button up here and let it generate and upload the resultant PHP. We can see a list with all the fields we chose from the file. On the top, we have our filter fields and the option to add a new record. On the left here, we have little icons where we can display, change, or delete records. If I were to display a record, we can view all the fields we specified for the single record view. I can also go back and choose to edit this record, and I'll be presented with fields corresponding to all the fields we chose for a single record view. So, in a few minutes, I've managed to create a complete and sharp-looking maintenance program to manage all these records. All of this is just what WebSmart can generate automatically for you. As you'll see, you can build even more complex functionality into these pages.